do it either.
And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 403. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we have one topic for you guys for this episode of the MSK show, and that will be on the animated G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover series in the works. That will be the main topic we cover for this episode of the MSK show later on, after we have our usual guy bro conversations that you guys all know and love, where I pretty much tell you guys how rich and charismatic and successful I am, and you guys always tell me how I'm none of those things, you know. But this is something that I always will say, you know, when the sun shines brightest, the darkness will always try to come out. I just made that up. That's not even a saying. But you know how much of a banger that was? Only a true 200 IQ level genius could actually just make up some crazy shit like that. Like, literally, I don't just want to be known, as people know. I want to be a legend. That was the best part about The Force Awakens, where they refer to Luke and Han and Leia as legends. You know, that's what I want to be referred to, as a legend. Now, did they really treat Han, Luke, and Leia like legends in those movies? Absolutely, 100% no. But the idea and concept is there. At one point, when I get old enough, I'm just gonna start wearing like a Jedi robe. My hair is gonna be even longer, and then I'll just be a scurvy man, and I'll just make money on the internet just doing OnlyFans content by showing my butthole. You know, so because
There's a lot of reasons you can be considered a legend, and I think you may have touched on at least one of them there. They're not always good reasons, though. Legends aren't always necessary. Being legendary isn't always a positive.
Yeah. So, how's it been going for you, man?
Yeah, keeping busy, doing stuff, working on things.
How's the job search going?
As it always does, tiresome and long.
Dude, I genuinely think all these jobs that people apply for online, half of them have to be fake. Because, like, you know how you'll go and apply for a job, and it'll give you like 3 different websites to go to, and then they tell you, oh, congratulations for finishing application, we'll get back to you. They never do. And I know that the job market is very competitive right now, but it feels like if you fill out like 20 different applications or 10 applications a day, it feels like maybe one of them get back to you. That's why it feels like, to me, half of these jobs people are applying to are just straight up fake scam job applications on the internet, so they can just sell your information. You know,
that's pretty much. I mean, it's definitely a problem. I do, in all honesty, having been in the search for a while, one thing I've noticed recently is that my phone is almost useless, and it isn't because I'm just ringing off the hook of people calling me about my resume. That does happen on a very rare occasion.
Yeah.
But it's
my
mostly
phone usually
spam.
rings because a lot of girls are texting me, as you know.
Yeah.
A lot of girls are hitting me up to give me some nice, knowledge down below.
More like a Nigerian princess trying to get you to buy crypto. But I feel like, there is a lot of data mining going on there, because I do get relatively persistent spam. Like, my phone is useless 90% of the times. My phone rings during the day, it is spam. It's garbage. It's
Yeah, you'll get notified of like a Gmail notification will come through, and it'll be like jobs in your area, and that's not true, because you go out and you see what's happening, and it's just like, I just don't get what's the point of listing a bunch of like fake job applications, but it's a bunch of scammers doing it so they can sell your information to people. So, like, I know the reasons why. It's just
pretty much
stupid. Yeah, fucking ridiculous, man. That's why
some of it does go through legitimate companies as well, and they just build some sort of database of resumes. I don't really understand the HR reasoning behind it, but it is a thing that happens. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So
somebody gets something out of it.
As you guys know, Mike and Mindy Wheeler, whom I know aren't everyone's favorite indie comic book creators, actually, they've only been very nice to me. We've actually had really great conversations here whenever they're actually on the show and talk. At some point, Mindy did say we got to catch up again, which we do, but I've just been very busy. And usually when women always say they want to catch up with me, it's like, it's because I'm hot, rich, and good looking. Outside of that, it's funny because I know people have their big issues with them. Because people say they're all these types of things, right? But at the end of the day, they do get work done. They are actually working.
Didn't they put out Rainbow the Brute recently? Their Rainbow the Brute, or they at least have it up?
Technically, Rainbow the Brute never came out, even though EVS had a Indiegogo crowdfund that people, actually sent in money for it. So technically, they're the first people to release Rainbow the Brute. Like, because what that fucking fat idiot doesn't understand is, like, if you don't put it out, then you didn't really do anything. It's just
yeah.
All that is
see it up.
All that was is just a proof of a concept. That's all like Indiegogo crowdfunds technically are before they are actually physical, is that they're just proof of concepts that you're helping to make by funding it with that person, So it's crazy how they put it out with less of the time and almost, I don't say less of the effort. I know she and Mike do they work very hard on their stuff, but it's just crazy how they got out the book pretty.
Is it? I don't know if it's out. I'm looking at the what do you call it? I'm looking at the Kickstarter right now. I don't know if it's out, but I do appreciate the backer count that it has currently. Like this makes a lot of sense. I see that as more successful than anything the rest of them did. Interiors are 100% complete on the book. Oh wow, they've actually posted the interiors for the book.
You can buy it physically if you wanted to on their website, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know if it was. Yeah, if it's out, that's even better.
I wonder, do we do a review of that? Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, when I will probably pick it up when I have some money again. Backers pledge.
Yeah, me too.
Project last updated.
Because if I go to, let me go to Mike's thing, Mike Wheeler.
An unpainted statue. If I could get a 3D model of that from them, I'd love to print it. That'd be funny.
Oh my goodness. Let me see, because I know Mike is following me on Twitter. Give me a moment. Goodness gracious. Mindy Wheeler. Okay, yeah, we follow each other. So let me do this really quickly. Oh my god. Guys, I'm literally just garbage. I actually have no way of understanding anything, but I do. I have it right here. So what I really enjoyed what Mike did was that Mike and Luke Stone actually did the thing that you would say would preserve independence, right? And I know Fun My Comic, I know what Luke Stone's trying to do. It's got its own fair share of problems, but at least he came in and made a website and a business where, it's away from Indiegogo and Kickstarter. That way, if they shadow ban you or just straight up deplatform you on their platform, you can have another alternative. And the crazy part about it is Ethan and a lot of them were just so comfortable on just Indiegogo. And it's like, you do know you have what was perceived at the time. You have certain politics they probably are not going to like. So they're probably not going to have your campaigns getting promoted on their website and that stuff. So it'll essentially be like softly shadow banning you. But they were just so comfortable pumping money into something that arguably isn't even a net benefit for them, But if you guys don't know about the old Indiegogo system was very forgiving on basically, if you were just really, really late on campaigns, you could still rake in money for them despite having not fulfilled them. Kickstarter was always different. Kickstarter functions basically if you don't fulfill, all the money gets returned, and you can't essentially open up another Kickstarter campaign unless you fulfilled the first one. That was always the difference between the two. That's why that fucking weirdo, your boy Zach, got kicked off Kickstarter, was not because of politics. People understand that was a lie. He got kicked off because he didn't fulfill his campaign. You know the difference between that? This is why you need to watch out for disingenuous people like that. If he tells you, hey, I got kicked off this platform because of my politics, then you go, that's kind of fucked up. That's wrong, honestly. But if the truth comes out and it's revealed you actually got kicked off because you weren't fulfilling your obligations, honestly, as a platform, that's not a bad reason to get rid of someone. They're scamming. That is essentially, even if you don't intentionally want to do it, that is scamming someone. That is just what it is, right?
Yeah, so, that's why I don't back on anything on Indiegogo anymore. Like I won't. I mean, it's they're overtly comfortable with a lot of people being scammed. Like we're talking about Rainbow the Brute, and that's fine. But look how much money he took in for Cyberfrog. He has that money. It's gone. Cyberfrog 3 ain't coming out.
Yet.
Like, I mean, he posted. I saw some other post he made for Rainbow the Brute. It was again, as he does, like a panel of just like the guy's head, basically. Oh, look, we're getting it done. It's like you just posted a panel of a guy's face. This could have been something you already drew. It was so cropped in. How would you tell? And I'm just like, at this point, I don't care. Like
Because
I'm
didn't
just,
you originally back it?
yeah, forever and ever ago, years ago.
Yeah. So let's because he said he really wants to get out Rainbow the Brute. He said that. Now, does it really mean that? Who the fuck knows? This guy lies so much. Honestly,
He's
he
trying to
lies so
use the
much. I don't even
toys
know
to pay
what
for
the
the
truth
printing of
is.
it.
Yeah.
There is no
Like,
truth, and the toys. You think the book
this
was
is how
more
you knew
out.
he squandered the money. Was
Mm-hmm.
because originally for Rainbow the Brute, um, around I think it was a few years ago. Remember, he said he wanted to open up a toy line for it. Now, I just really understand this though. He opened up another crowdfund for Rainbow the Brood, a book that already hadn't been fulfilled, to get money for toys for Rainbow the Brood. I want you guys to understand that though. The book hadn't already been done. All those other tiers and those add-ons or from the original campaign weren't done. And he was like, he got his genius idea. I want to do toys for Rainbow the Brood. Buddy, you haven't even did anything on that first book. What are you talking about? What is that? And then people give him money for the Rainbow the Brew toys, and now he's saying it's gonna cost a lot of money to get the toys manufactured, based off the whole like the tariffs between U.S. and all the other different countries and shit like
Yep.
that. But this is how you know that shit's a scam, is because why are you opening up another Indiegogo crowdfund for Rainbow the Brew toys when the first one's not even done with when the actual book that people wanted originally is not done, right? Mandy's Gymshock isn't done. There's no way it is. Like, she says she's sending out copies. No one's. It doesn't exist. It's just she's just saying that it doesn't exist. I don't even care. People are just lying out their ass, and people just believe them. For what reason? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a pretty sad state over there, but it's fallen by the wayside. I saw what Eric managed to do in a few days with the 100K for getting the animation done. That was pretty impressive. Like there isn't, it's so funny. Like you don't even hear that much about the rivalry anymore, and I don't know. I don't know if that's because most of my current account has blocked and muted the vast majority of CG that I've interacted with. I haven't
Yeah.
had nearly as much interaction as back when Ethan was EFAPing my cosplay of him, but you
And
know,
then do you remember on that, because originally Iron had the Rogues Gallery thing and he EFAP'd that. I remember this tweet like it was yesterday. He says, originally I was working with creatives like Grant Morrison and Jeff Johns and I think it was another guy. What's the fucking hell? It was another guy. It was
you know,
Frank Miller and all these people. Like he was listing all these comic book legends and stuff like that. And he was like, man, and now I have to be around people like Matt Barr and JDA. And I just wanted to make sure I point out, Ethan, they never like. I can guarantee you they never liked this guy. Jeff Johns never liked this guy. Grant Morrison, given you know how he is, definitely wouldn't like someone like that. Because
no,
obviously
no,
Ethan Grant Morrison is successful, and well, you aren't. So there's a big difference between
well,
that.
that's the thing.
Jeff
Some of these
Johns is
people,
successful, and Ethan, you're not. That's how that works, though.
many of these creators, and you notice like Mark Millar basically blowing him off in tweets and everything else and not talking to him, but Mark Millar will have full blown conversations with guys like Nick Weiser or John's Longbox, like guys that don't even have
Mhm.
10K subs who will come and talk to those fans, but you don't want to talk to Ethan. None of them want to talk to Ethan. Like Ethan, these guys have legendary lengthy runs where they've built a name for themselves, and Ethan's name built for himself is built on the backs of uh, being a fraudster, ripping off fans, and generally treating even those close to him like crap. Like
Yeah,
he isn't a comic book legend. He's a guy that rode the coattails of one of the more popular Green Lantern runs in the last 20 years, and the guy who wrote it, and definitely one of the better writers DC's had in their stable in the last 20 years. And outside of writing that guy's coattails, Ethan doesn't have much.
well,
What long run did Ethan do on any book? Like he did 8 issues of Green Lantern. Like
if you look through his credits, he actually drew quite a bit of stuff, but
he has a lot of different
because
stuff, but
remember,
nothing consistent.
outside of the
Like
cyber, because there was Cyber Frog, no one cared about
yeah,
that when it launched. Then
it was
I would say
terrible
he
when it
got
launched.
kind of a big break when it came to that new X-Men run with Grant Morrison.
Yep.
It's the whole like I can't really say it on YouTube, but if you guys
That's
know,
probably
you
the
know.
most consistent he had ever actually really been. But even like in all honesty, dude, New X-Men is probably some of my least favorite Grant Morrison stuff. I hate the take on Beast he did, turning him into a cat, sucks. Abs-
Mhm.
Absolutely sucks. Rehashing the Jean Grey losing her mind shit, the Emma Frost and Cyclops affair. Like, you go back and read it, like Grant Morrison didn't even really create a lot of great X-Men. He created a ton of throwaway characters. Like, he entered the most trash ever into X-Men, like the new X-Men, where they
You know
reopened
what
the
it reminds me
school
of?
and they brought all these people in, but no, none of the characters really stood out or good or really hold. None of them stood the test. Like, name one
Right.
of them from to me that isn't the ugliest one,
Do
Beak.
you know what it reminds me of? Is when you talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That's what people think about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That's my mindset towards it. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX offers a lot of new characters, but outside of like one or maybe max three characters, they're all just a bunch of throwaway nobodies that have no personality. There's no real
Yeah,
story arc with them. They're not that interesting. But back then, when you were like the new generation of something, you got a lot of popularity just because you were the next generation after the big original thing
yeah.
happen. I feel like that's why his X-Men run blew up. I haven't read it yet. I know I've seen stuff. I bought the
I mean, there's
Epic
sometimes
collection. I bought the
there's some
Epic
good
collection
pieces.
for it. I think I did, or I have to buy the Epic collection for it maybe this week. But I remember like when I was younger, we would always have the originals come out, and then if something came out that continued off of it, that was like the new generation, that would
Yeah,
always get fans because it was just the next thing. Like Mighty like remember after like the Zordon era for Mighty Morphin and to space. Remember after that you had like Lost Galaxy that just got a lot of people because the stuff that came before it.
yeah.
Nowadays you don't have that. Nowadays when people think of like new generation, they're thinking like that shit's about to be absolute ass.
Well, and but that's the thing. That was what happened in that era when Grant Morrison did it. Like, and it isn't necessarily entirely his fault. I don't know if maybe it isn't, maybe it is. None of the characters just ended up being met, which is funny because you had like back in the day you had what was it? Was it Wolfman? No, who the hell was who brought forward the New Mutants? Because that was like, let's see, who was it? Claremont? Who's Yeah, it was Chris Claremont. So when Chris Claremont brought forward the New Mutants, which is kind of what, and that's what Grant Morrison was doing. He was trying to do something in the vein of New Mutants, where you had a new team. Many of the New Mutants ended up becoming a lot more memorable. They eventually became X Force. They were taking, like, Chris Claremont started something,
Mhm.
and Nicaea and Liefeld, give them some credit. They managed to cement those characters in some way. And I know a lot of people hate Cable, but he became part of that run. But you've got like Wolfsbane, you had Banshee was original X-Men, but he was kind of around them as an instructor. But then you had like who else? Danny Morningstar, you had Warpath, which was from the other one. Like, who are all of the? Let me see. I'm mixing up some people here. Let me get a list of the New Mutants going here, and let's see how many of these ones we actually remember. Yeah, Cannonball was a New Mutant. He stuck around. Sunspot, probably one of the bigger ones, that stuck around, that was really popular. Wolfsbane was pretty popular and stuck around. Karma, not as much. Mirage, yeah, Mirage was around, and then yeah, so those five there, like, managed to stick around quite a bit. Then you had some more people later. You had Warlock, who was like the techno-organic
Mhm.
alien that ended up being part of the team. Um, Magma, not as much. Magic, Colossus's sister, huge part of the team. Doug Ramsey,
Oh,
Cypher, who eventually
I would
merged with
say
Warlock, big part of the team.
because this used to happen fairly somewhat often for like superhero stuff. Like people remember like Harley Quinn didn't originally debuted as
Hmm.
a character in the comic books for DC. She debuted in Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
I would say back then with like what was that X-Men show after after X-Men Animated Series? It was New X-Men Evolution. Someone it was like yeah, it was X-Men
X-Men
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah, what's crazy. I actually like that show. I actually really I thought the
Well, that
animation was
took them back to being teenagers and everything, and then it was followed up
yeah
by like Wolverine and the X-Men or some shit like that. Which
yeah.
actually, that one stuck. It was a weird take on Wolverine, but it stuck around for a little while, and people
The
liked it.
animation in X-Men Evolution was really good. Looked really clean. Remember,
Yeah,
X-23 was first introduced in that. I would say X-23 is probably one of the more recent X-Men characters that they made years ago that still kind of
she's
was
still
one of the
kind of.
more big one.
It definitely stuck around. People
Like
were interested in it.
Maybe Magic will probably be an X-Men character they made that people like actually kind of somewhat
Well,
like. I
that was
can't.
from the New Mutants era, but like all of these
You're
ones that
right.
we're naming don't have anything to do with what Grant Morrison did in New X Men. X twenty
Yeah.
three is okay, but I think it's kind of that Miles Morales problem, but in a character that people care far less about.
Yeah.
People care about the idea of Miles Morales. People, as much as they want to hold on to the stupidity, nobody cares about him being Spider-Man. Nobody reads the
Yeah.
books. If they gave him all they'd ever have to do is give him his own rogues gallery and give him his own name, and Miles Morales would probably be able to stand the test of time at this point. I think people start forgetting about him after the last movie gets done. I don't even know if the last movie does that well. Maybe it does, but it's been too
Uh,
long.
2027 is supposed to come out because they've had a lot of delays because Haley Steinfeld and the guy who voices Miles Morales had some problems. Remember, I don't know if you remember the story. It was about like a year ago. He like was confessing how much he loved her and shit like that, and she was like, "I'm getting married." Holy shit! Wouldn't that be weird? Holy crap! He thought he had that fucking that
Riz,
that ending. He thought he
that
had that,
MSK Riz.
bro.
He thought he was the Riz master, and it just didn't work out. But
Jamie Agmore and Haley Steinfeld. Yep, not no, bro. She needs her white kings. Like I love my white queens. Actually, the only white king I know is James.
that's your king. I bet it is. I can't wait to watch you guys
No,
put
but
that
like
test together.
all these, I'll be honest here. I think X-Men peaked with character creation around the original to like giant size to like I would say X Factor, New Mutants.
I mean, those are just that's because they were just the first ones. I mean, in all honesty, the last era that came out was something memorable. I mean,
Maybe Apocalypse. That's probably the more
yeah,
recent.
Age of Apocalypse is probably one of the more memorable, and that was just alternate reality versions of characters. But like, there hasn't been anything consistent. I think the last great character that came out of X Men is probably Bastion. Like after that, he was a great villain. He made the Sentinels less like the Sentinels in X Men had just become kind of cannon fodder.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be the definition of cannon fodder. Master Mold had been defeated pretty thoroughly. What do you do to make him interesting? Nimrod, they figured out ways to work around the Terminator version of Sentinels.
Mhm.
Bastion brought in kind of this human element that felt like something. Like with the Sentinels beforehand, it was just like you're just defeating robots. You're just taking down some like, oh, Master Mold has some sort of thing out. It's like you're still just defeating robots and everything. Like Bastion made it human. Bastion made it
Mhm.
interesting. Bastion put some weight, and he was a very interesting. It was a very like he wasn't really a mutant. He was something else entire. He has a very interesting and different kind of backstory. So that was probably the last great thing that I saw anybody really do with X Men, and it was one of their villains. But you need great villains. They've done a lot of weird stuff with Magneto over the years and everything else, and he's still a great villain. But like at the time, he wasn't there. But after
Mhm.
that, like I can't think of anybody that was like great, great. I can't think of anything great that came out of Grant Morrison's run, short of some gorgeous Mark Silvestri artwork. And even Ethan did some good artwork there. Though I do again like the take of doing Beast as a cat. I don't know if that was Grant's idea or whose idea that was, but whoever it was should never work in comics again. It was terrible. The Beast had a great look. He had the perfect look for that character. Doesn't need to look like a cat. I don't need extra evolutions and shit like that. Just like he was fine, and now it just looks dumb. Some monkey cat thing that isn't interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really, at the time, it was interesting at the time because it was different. But like going back and reading it, like none of this held up. No one cares. It's disinteresting. Like I don't really, it's like watching a TV show that you're not getting anything out of. I just kind of stop and I'm just like, okay, I don't really care anymore. I'll go through and I'll pick and find some certain arcs that might have been interesting, but for the most part, yeah, I don't. It just gave us a lot of throwaway characters that I don't even know how many of them are around anymore today. Just piled in a bunch of
Or
stuff. Like
any
there's
of them that people
so much.
actually even care about. Like, because the thing
None.
with X-Men that I notice with a lot of people is they usually only talk about the big ones and like the other smaller, bigger ones. Like, none of these X-Men characters that people like Grant Morrison or what was it, Mark Guggenheim did, or Brian Michael Bendis did, or any of these other X-Men writers that have had long, long runs on the characters, none of those characters ever hit it big. I would argue that X-23 was the last big X-Men character that someone created, and I wouldn't really even call that big. Like she's just a clone of Wolverine, and you
Yeah,
have
and nobody
Apocalypse.
cares anymore. They just try to keep making her. They just try to keep making her Wolverine. She's in a book that they call Wolverine, and it's like
Yeah, and they know it can only
Wolverine
sell because
isn't a
it's
mantle,
yeah, and
and it doesn't sell. It gets canceled. It's just like Miles Morales, but less copies get sold.
oh yeah. I even more. Black Cat has the same thing too. Black Cat is gonna get canceled at 10 issues again. The newest run just started, canceled at 10 issues and shit. And that's the problem with Marvel comics in general now. Like they're just stuck in this like cycle of basically character announce 10 issues, death. That'll be another one. They'll kill them off. They give the mantle to someone. That doesn't work. Repeat cycle. You know.
It's because they want to make mantles out of all of it. It's like, dude, Wolverine isn't a fucking mantle at all. It was a code name for Logan, for fuck's sake. Like it's,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's.
I'm really trying to remember. Like I think yeah, X-23 and Apocalypse are probably the last big characters they made. Wait, was Psylocke a part of the original like big X-Men characters
No, she
originally?
came along somewhere else. She was
Uh,
Betsy Braddock for a while, but she
yeah.
was probably closer to giant size. But I don't even. I think she was even after giant size.
Okay. Even people say, "Oh, I love Psylocke." That Psylocke was created a long time ago. Like most
I,
X-Men characters, I'm trying to tell people most of that shit, the best ones have already been created. There's not much more you can do. I mean,
yeah, think.
I'm trying
Tell
to
me a
think of
great
it.
comic book character created in the last 20 years.
Maybe like Null,
I don't know who that is. I would
just
say
thinking.
Invincible is probably the closest, the biggest
Oh,
one I could think
I
of.
think I'm talking about just
I
Marvel. I
said
think
20 years.
oh,
No, in anywhere in comics, like the last 20 years. Tell me something that's actually made it big or broken through. Like
I don't know
Invincible.
honestly. Oh yeah, Invincible probably.
That's
Maybe the
probably. I don't think that's more than 20 years old. When did Invincible come out?
Invincible came out 2005, didn't it start? It started then, I think. It was like early 2000s. That I remember, or it was like mid to late
Oh
2000s.
shit.
Oh
That's yeah. So that was 20. No, actually, no, that's Prime Video. 2003. So actually, you know
yeah,
what?
early 2000s. Yeah.
That's still older. That's still older than 20 years. 20 years would be 2026,
Would you
or
count the
that would
boys?
be 2006. Was the boys out in 2006? Let's see.
But didn't the boys come out like 2009, 2010? I'm trying to remember. Like some of these characters. That I think all. I'll be honest here. I think all the best stuff has already been created. I don't think there's much more you can do outside of like what Jeff Johnson's did.
2000. So 2006. So there you go. The boys is probably the only thing in the last 20
And no,
years.
and that show doesn't represent anything in those comic books at
No,
all.
the show
It's
has nothing to do with
totally
the comics
different.
at all.
Yeah,
And Warren Ellis is a or is it Warren? No, it was Garth Ennis. Sorry, I
Garth
always
Ennis.
confuse those two. Garth Ennis is a fucking whack job. Preacher was a great book. He did a great Punisher, but like a lot of these people, something changed in them at some point, and now they're not interested in making the quality things that people came to enjoy them for anymore. So, but yeah, I can tell you everything. I sit here and I look at the shelf behind me, and most of this shit's 20 years old easily. At least when it was originally published. I mean, it's 2 decades, man. That's an entire generation of kids who've grown up with nothing they'll call their own for comic book characters.
Mhm.
It's why the industry that is the trouble in the industry, because the only people still buying it are the yous and the me's and lapsed, and like kids aren't reading this shit.
Mhm.
Maybe some people show it to the like my kids read Sonic. And even that, those they have the last issue sitting over there. I don't think they've read it yet. It's still not interesting enough to them that they're like clamoring to jump on it. And if they didn't pick it up for them and tell them they need to like read before turning on a game or TV or going out to screw around with their friends or whatever, they wouldn't bother with it. Like it isn't ingrained in them. They're not interested in it. It isn't something they would do on their own. So you're not going to see them in 20 years, in 10 years, going to a comic book shop to pick these things up. Like
Well,
in the next decade's going to be rough, as you know.
it's also the culture of how media has changed too. I feel like things like comics never actually advanced with how technology advanced, so it was kind of just stuck in this like.
They tried. I mean, digital comics. They tried to do it. It just didn't. It wasn't
Well, there's not a
popular
viable
enough.
digital strategy. I would say there's digital out there, but the fact of it, because like Marvel and DC's apps, don't they cost like what $10 actually?
Well, they charge a subscription fee, or you pay cover price, and that was the problem. Like the problem, and for real, that was the problem. It's like when you paid cover price, you got a tangible object, and they
Right.
thought people, well, we're going to demand this in the marketplace, so we're going to charge you cover price for digital. And it's like, no, you have no product. Your production overhead is what you pay your creative team. And sure, I guess there's some sort of association with the platform cost, but in the cases of them not even owning the platform anymore, like with Global Comics,
Hmm.
like what does it cost you? You're uploading to Global Comics now. Global Comics runs that platform. Why am I paying you cover price when you don't even have a platform anymore? The one you did, you ran into the ground and you sold it to Amazon, and Amazon don't fucking care about Comixology. Don't even. I thought it went out. I thought they shut it off. They didn't. It's still up, but
Yeah. Like even Dark Horse Comics got off of Comixology or whatever. Like Dark Horse Comics tried making their own version of that. No one really bought it. No one really
no. Well, why
bit.
would you? Why would you pay cover price for an intangible object that can be deleted at any point in time?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, there's a reason Steam is successful when it comes to a digital marketplace. I mean, they became so successful because smart publishers would so deeply discount the fucking games on Steam. Steam exists because the Steam sales move units like
Yeah,
crazy.
this is the thing that Marvel and DC need to do with their apps because I've looked at them. It's not like they're horrible. They just need a little bit more of a modern type of. This is the way you would use that. You need a more of a modern lens on how people want to actually read the comics because the biggest problem with comics that I run into all the time is people saying, "Well, it's a hard barrier of entry to getting in." Not because I'm not willing to read them; it's because of money. I think most, if not all, the books on there should just be for free. And I know that they're going
Well,
to be like, but pirating. Well, pirating will always exist, right? But there are people out there that, the thing is, someone potentially reads it for free on your. I would rather you direct that traffic all to yourself than having that traffic go to another website because people are going to pirate it no matter what. The thing that people don't get is that just getting that person interested, you might have a person that is willing to buy the stuff physically at some point. But the fact that there's such a barrier there, they're already just not going to do it in general, you know?
yeah.
Like the
Well,
absolute universe can only do so much. The absolute universe of Steam might run out eventually. It will. It's kind of just how these things kind of go. Nothing stays hot forever. But if it did stay hot forever, good Lord Jesus Christ, that'd be insane. But
well,
it's
look at. I mean,
DC.
it's the same with the Ultimate Universe. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man was sold so damn much. It spawned what, almost maybe just shy of 10 other books.
No, well,
Most of
no,
them were
the other two
garbage
were
except for
announced.
Wolverine.
Well, no, because Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men were announced originally. They just came out later. Ultimate Wolverine
Yeah.
came. Ultimate Wolverine sold way better than Ultimate Black Panther or Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah, it was actually good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. I was like, damn. I had no hope, and I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking good, honestly. The fact that Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Spider are ending is just disgusting. That's just stupid, honestly.
Yeah, well, they don't have any. They don't have anybody who wants to go up against Marvel editorial to keep the line of what was going on in Ultimate Spider-Man going.
Hmm.
And I guess it's better that we got the 2 years of Hickman giving fan service from top to bottom with the character that they hadn't gotten in a decade, or not decade, 20 years, or more, even at this point. I mean, God, since what, the late 90s?
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
mean,
want to show you guys this really quickly. So this is indiecrowdfund.com. This is Mike and Mindy Wheeler's website where you can go and launch your own stuff. Now, here's the kicker with this website. I don't think it's bad or anything. Will people come over here and put their books up on indiecrowdfund.com despite you knowing it's ran by Mike and Mindy? I don't have a problem with Mike and Mindy at all, but I love that they did something like this. This is another outlet you can have where people can find your indie comic book and support it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
this is actually a very good thing. I don't think any of the CG people launch over here.
I don't think
Even
they're allowed to, according to the rules of CG, anyways.
like I mean, if these numbers are to be believed, you have what 3 projects funded, about almost 20K in pledge projects. You have
It's not bad.
651 plus backer pool. This is pretty solid. This is actually pretty solid for a couple that just launched this first time. And I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't use any other website. I'm saying that having another outlet so your book can get funded is good. I'm just saying it's a very good thing. It's nice to have more options where you can obviously get more people interested in your stuff. So, the other thing
Yeah, I
we're
would
gonna
say that's the kind
cover.
of thing you want to do. You want to have more outlets, more options, more places to go, more
Oh,
opportunities to be seen.
I forgot to ask you. What did you think about
Yes.
that crazy lady who got blasted by that ICE agent for fucking around and finding out?
Oh, that's kind of what happens when you run somebody over. He had internal hemorrhaging. I mean, you hit somebody with your car, especially a cop. That's kind of what happens. As much as the left wants to pretend like there's no consequences for being stupid, but yeah, there is. It's you run a guy over, and that's what happens.
Okay, guys. Let's see. So Graham Allen right here had a tweet. So this is a Nick Fuentes clip. I can't play the very end of it because he says the N word, and yeah, Twitch does not like that. So toward the very end of this, if he says out, out, out. Warren, what's up, man? What's up, Amelia? How you doing? Hope you guys are doing pretty good. All right, so this is the Nick Fuentes clip, and you guys know I've had a lot of issues with Rumble, and I even had canceled this podcast on, and we talked about all the issues that Rumble had. Now, this is where some of the discernment comes through. It's like, okay, Nick, even if you disagree or agree with Nick, or you're on the middle on him, doesn't matter. Okay, so Nick is potentially mad that Rumble hasn't given him a contract despite being their number one streamer on their platform, barring people like even when Dan Bongino was on the platform and a few other big, people they have on there like Tim Pool or Steven
I'd be
Crowder.
surprised if he was doing Crowder numbers.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot.
that'd be insane, right? So Nick was apparently crashing out over how Rumble treats him. Now, I will say this. If Rumble didn't exist, well, Nick would either have to make his own website and do it that way, the same thing that Alex Jones did with InfoWars, or you have where someone else does it and you just you can be yourself. Rumble has very little censorship, is what I would say to you people. But Rumble is a platform where you really don't get any traction unless you're on the front page where they feature you. That's why the features is a big argument for people, is because people who aren't featured won't get seen because there's just not enough people on the platform to go around to everyone. It's just not. That's why there's accusations of botting and all that stuff. But that's different story for another day. The main point is that, like, if he's their biggest streamer, why aren't they noticing him? I mean, they don't actually have to give you anything. You are more of an asset to them, you know? Like, I understand it from both sides of the point of view. Nick is bringing in a bunch of people to watch on Rumble for free with just his existence. Like, just his existence gets people there. But that doesn't mean Chris has to notice this guy. Like, I don't like Chris that much at all. I think Chris is an absolute moron. I don't think he knows what he's doing at all, honestly. I think he's just really been making awful decisions with Rumble for a long time at this point. Like, just completely just out of touch with what this guy has an idea for what content creation should be. I mean, Chris literally how much money did he give, like, the quartering for his quarter cast that has like
no
almost
idea.
no viewers there? You can tell it's clearly view botted, right?
I can't listen to Melanie Mac. I don't mind the quartering. I'll watch his news clips of things he's got going on if it's something.
Even those are hard. Even that's hard to do.
Yeah, those are. I mean, that's fine. Those are. It's just the same rhythm that Tim Pool used to do when he would just post news clips in the morning of an article, read through it in like 20 minutes, and then be done with it. It's like, all right, I heard about the article. The topic was interesting to me. That's why I clicked on it. Because I'm like, what is this topic? And in all honesty, if it ends up not being very interesting, I don't finish the video. But if it is, I finish the video and I move on. But and the quartering does fine with that. If that's what he does, that's a good wide net to cast. You're just reporting news-ish stuff.
Right.
Cool.
And then, because Rumble gave out these exclusive contracts to people, so basically Steven Crowder would have the 8 p.m. time slot, then quartering would have like the 10 p.m.
Oh yeah, their
slot.
lineup thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then Tim Pool, I think, has like the 4 p.m. PST, would be like 6 p.m. CST time slot. They had that one lady with the black hair, the one where Tim Pool said she smelled when she came over to his show, and she said, "I'm gonna sue you." It's like, people like her are the worst, because they'll say like, oh, I forgot her name, but you guys wouldn't see her. She's like their big. She's like it's a black. She has like black hair and she looks like she's Asian. She was like, I am a free speech absolutist, but then you're gonna sue someone because they said you
Hmm.
stink. Also, you can't get in trouble for that. I could say you stink. There's nothing that a judge would just throw that out. They would just, like, that's so ridiculous. No one would ever process a court hearing like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, even on Twitch, there's people doing okay numbers, but Twitch doesn't give them a contract because that requires you being partnered and stuff like that. But I would just say this to Nick. He's never going to watch this because, he's just that kind of person. But I wouldn't really worry about Rumble giving you a contract. Rumble, I don't even know if Rumble even knows how to get sufficient people to their platform. They've never been able to do it, even
I
when they
mean,
had
they're
people like
getting
Charlie Kirk
some
still
shows
alive.
get good stuff. It depends on who you are. Like if you're watching Crowder, you might see 26,000 people watching live.
Yeah.
That's he's got his own a good spot. And the other thing is like with the contract, I don't think it's just a contract. I think they end up owning part of the company. Like a Crowder moved his entirety of what Mug Club was into Rumble, so now it is just part of Rumble. Like I think
Right.
he's deeply invested in what Rumble is.
Or remember
So
when they brought over Dr. Disrespect and they gave him this big contract that was supposed to be like a push for the gaming section too? That never happened at
yeah,
all. That made no dent in
it
bringing more
didn't.
people.
There are a lot of people. I do see a lot of gaming on Rumble now. A lot of people have gone there, and Rumble does pay a lot of attention to gaming. Like you will get views in gaming on Rumble. You will. Like they're gonna if you're throwing up a game, especially that has a niche that somebody wants to watch, and and if you've got kind of a
As long as you're
personality that
consistent,
people want to watch the
yeah.
gaming, yeah. If you're consistent and you should do your league streams on Rumble and see what kind of attention you get.
I
The
used to.
algorithm is definitely geared that. Yeah, I would throw them up there, dude. Start doing it consistently for like a month and see what it looks like. Maybe that's all you just put up is the game stuff on Rumble. The gaming in whatever their version of their algorithm they're in, the gaming will get attention if you're consistent. Like I know my buddy Lindy Rig over there, he's moving away from his other content because he's getting the clicks on his games. So and he didn't even want to do gaming in the first place, but when he plays
Lindy
games,
Rig.
he's getting
Oh, I remember
people.
that guy. I forget.
Yeah, he's one of the guys from Whiskey Cap.
Yeah.
So
Lindy Rig. I remember him. Yeah.
yeah. So he's doing fine with that, but he's moving into that because like this is where the clicks are. I make fun of him for chasing the algorithm, but I mean, you do what you got to do to if you're chasing them clicks and you want it to be something, then that's what you got to do. But yeah, so like I said, gaming will probably get you some attention. Is it going to do YouTube numbers in gaming? I don't know. In all honesty, I don't see a lot of. And all, dude, my YouTube algorithm is all fucking commentary. Everyone doing commentary on mostly pop culture, and it's such a played out field of things. But everyone's doing game streams too. Like anybody can do game streams. It doesn't matter.
I think oversaturation is in everything. Like there's people that just
Yeah,
get into
the whole
commentating
market's
on.
oversaturating.
Same thing with politics too. My feed sometimes consists of like, well, my stuff is everything. I have manga, anime, sports, people doing sports commentary and all that stuff. All that stuff is just oversaturated because everyone wants to just give their opinion now on all this stuff now because it's just becoming a more popular thing to do.
Yep.
So what
Pretty
did
much.
Nick end up saying? Come on, guys, I can't play the parts where he says the N word. That is the Twitch would punish me for that one. Good lord. And I'm not people like, why don't you want Kick? No, Kick sucks. I tried. Garbage. Sucks balls. Oh gosh. Nope. Can't do that one. But so yeah, I mean, I do understand where he's coming from. I really do. But it's one of these things where, yes, Rumble doesn't owe you anything, but Rumble should, in my opinion, privately maybe reach out with one of their people and go, hey, thank you for being on this platform, because people do kind of want to be thanked for their hard work. It's just I don't know if they can offer him any level of money that would even be sufficiently viable enough for how much views he brings in. I don't think they can afford it, in my opinion. They already paid out a lot of money for all these like big contracts to have that like news broadcast network style that they wanted on their platform. Has that really changed anything? Like having Steven Crowder just exclusively to Rumble, has that really changed anything as far as getting viewers to the
For the
platform?
overall, I don't know if it's changed. I mean, at first, yeah, I think it brought a lot to it brought his fan base to the platform. I mean, He was at 6 million on YouTube, which in all honesty I think goes to show how bad bots are on YouTube. He's nearing 2 million now on Rumble, which is pretty considerable. Like I don't know let's see, can you see who has like the most followers on Rumble currently? Is like if I go to Rumble here, is there like a way to see like the biggest followed person? Like
On Rumble?
yeah,
Let's see.
like where would you
Who
go to see that
is the
trending?
biggest? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you can
Who
look
is
it up,
the
I suppose. Yeah,
streamer?
who has the biggest stream on Rumble? Or
It
who's
has
the
to be
biggest
either.
creator?
Well, pre Dan Bongino was probably Dan Bongino.
You think Dan Bongino's got more than Crowder? Let's see.
I think so. Well, let me go see right here.
Dan Bongino has gone. He doesn't exist on Rumble anymore. That's right.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Yeah, I think he realized.
The biggest streamers on Rumble are typically well-known conservative commentators like Dan Bongino, Steven Crowder, and figures such as Andrew Tate, who draw massive audiences, often exceeding hundreds of thousands of concurrent viewers during peak events, with Bongino frequently leading in overall popularity metrics like peak viewership. But it's
Oh,
weird how Rumble doesn't pay attention to Nick Fuentes, but it'll pay attention to someone like Andrew Tate.
so see, yeah, that's why I don't think Nick has a lot of ground to stand on there. Like Andrew Tate, he's at least as bad as Nick Fuentes. Like Crowder's show just this morning, just the one that he had this morning, 573,000 views. That's a lot for sure. He had a show 2 days ago. His show has 903,000 views. 3 days ago, 980,000 views. So there's definitely, and his shows that are a week old are already over 1 million. So yeah, he's definitely been, Crowder definitely gets a lot there. Let's see. Who is it? It's Vince, I think, that took over.
Other big name. So we have Dan Bongino,
Yeah.
often cited as number one with peak viewership over 500K.
Wow.
Steven Crowder.
He does have more. That's funny. He has more followers. 3.54 million followers for Dan Bongino.
Mm-hmm.
But his views are.
Remember, he left and they had someone else take over.
Yeah.
When he went back to the FBI. So him coming back, those numbers will probably improve.
I was gonna say, because his views are hella low. But I'm trying to look and see if I can find him from when he. Like, how far back can I go? Let's go really far back. Let's go like way back.
Other big names, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, Alex Jones, and political figures like Matt Gaetz also command large audiences too. I mean, the Daily Wire people put their content on there too. So,
So yeah, Bongino's shows, I guess, yeah, he's doing Crowder numbers there. You see a number of these with 1 million views, over 1 million views. Actually, he's probably consistently over 1 million on his stuff from back when he was on the show. So yeah, Bongino and Crowder are definitely probably the two biggest names on there. But at the same time, it's like they also had, I think they're heavily invested in the company itself as well. Their shows aren't necessarily owned by Rumble, but there's some sort of agreement between them that's where they mostly live. Now let's see, K-F-U-E-N-T-E-S. Nick Fuentes. What is Nick Fuentes doing over here on his channel? So Nick Fuentes. Well, first of all, Nick Fuentes has 7,081 followers. Yeah. 7.81K followers. So he has nobody following him. Comparatively. His views, the channel doesn't even show what views he has. Dude, no, he's got single digit like 4K views on a show 2 days ago. Bro.
So he has 50.
He's full of
so keep in mind, if this is to be believed, because Rumble viewers can be all like bot and all that shit. If it is to be believed, 55K, 680K, 144K, 1 million. Okay, that was really good. 228K, 1 million. Okay, 1 million. Okay, so he has 3 million.
Which one is this on? I'm not seeing it. Which stream is it? Which account is this number? Because
this is the one with the green check mark.
Fuentes. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm not on that one. So this must be somebody's rebroadcast one.
Also, they're just taking his content and just posting it on their thing to get money.
Yeah, somebody's redoing his content. Yeah, well, there's.
So yeah, he has.
Fuentes. Okay, so let's see here. No, the one with the green. Okay, Nick J. Fuentes has 220 followers. That can't be it.
No, it's this one right here. This one with the 636K.
That is a fake. 636K. Okay, that makes.
Yeah, because it's the one that leads to
this is the other problem I have with Rumble is their search function is hot dog shit. There it is. Way down the line, do I find him? Okay, so 55K for the one that was put out 6 hours ago. That's pretty low.
And that's 6 hours ago, so it'll probably gain more over time.
680K. Yeah, I know the one from Crowder though already has over 500,000. mean, that's kind of the difference. But yeah, so some of these here, he's got 1 million viewers there. So yeah, he's definitely got some views on there for
Yeah,
sure.
like even go back like just a month ago, he had one that was 1.3 million,
Yeah.
786.
How many of these are unique though? That's the thing.
We won't know. Rumble
Yeah,
doesn't show that yet because they don't have advanced search functions like that.
yeah. So yeah, he's getting some attention. We'll give him that. But like again, eh, he is too. What's kind of the way to say this? Like he's too fringy, and it's
Also, they don't because keep in mind the people that Rumble give contracts to, the big ones are even if they're weirdly, oddly conservative. I don't think Nick is a conservative at all. Like, I just don't think he is at
no.
all. I think he's just a fake. I think he's just a.
I don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think there's any.
I think he's just a liberal masking as partially centric.
His if you listen to him, his views are very socialistic.
Yeah.
Like he's looking for government intervention.
He
But and
literally
it's
said he would have voted for Kamala Harris. He literally told people to vote for Kamala Harris last election. That's last election. It was just like a year ago,
yeah.
honestly.
Well, he's even told people to just not vote at all in the midterms. Like he's not conservative. So
You know.
I don't
All
know.
right.
I've listened to him. He can be kind of funny or interesting in some of the jokes that he makes because he's at least willing to go as far as he needs to for a joke. Cool,
Yeah.
that's
So
fine. But he can
yeah.
be kind of cringy otherwise as well, and it's just like, guy,
Like for me, when it comes to people like that, it's just like, okay, dude, if you're already making it without the contract or getting this approval you needed, I don't get why you need any of that. Like that's my position is if you're already
Mhm.
doing as well as he is on his channel, and it's on Rumble, so it's way less viewership
He
on
wants the money he wants the money in the cloud. That's all
even
it
though he already
is.
has it. Because Rumble, he's certainly making money somehow on Rumble. It has to be like crypto or something. He has to be making money through
Maybe I
some.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I mean he
Because
probably takes the super chats or whatever else. I don't know.
he
Actually, I
says
know
he's
he gets those.
banned from payment processors and banking, so he's making money probably just purely through crypto. Which at this point
Probably.
now, given how much money he gets from all amount of his streams, he's probably a millionaire at this point. But this is what the average person does understand. Someone could be that rich, but they still want more money because more money gives you just more access to a lot of stuff you potentially may need in the future. That does cost a lot of money. But all right, we're gonna go to the topic. Oh, good lord. But unlike Trash Cast, as you guys know, this is a quality show, purely made out of entertainment, actually. Right?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. And this actually
What's that
came
on
out.
top of TV over there, man? I haven't talked to TV in a while. It's over there.
Talk to TV. That's a
Yeah.
PS5 that's unopened.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the new character in the apartment. I see.
Why? This is
PS5 is there. Unused PS5, pre-COVID era television.
2023. I bought that.
Bullshit. That thing's been there as long as I've known you. Just
Oh
usually in
my
the dark.
God.
It's usually in the dark. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait until what is it? And it's going to be in February, right? When Iron comes out. I can't wait for that episode. You guys got to live stream that too, by the way. Get James over there with Iron and Selena to complete the TV's character arc. Just
Oh
imagine
my God.
you'll be able to put something up on the TV while you're streaming now. They'll have
Let
like a
me
little background
see.
thing that says Master Swag King or something.
Let me see when Iron is supposed to be coming out the week of, because he said he was coming out the week that Theo was supposed to come back, and I'm pretty sure Theo's back now.
Theo is back.
So he says, "Oh God, I sent this." He says the third week, just after I get paid again. So
That's next
it would
week?
be yeah. It's next week, 18th through the 24th. So we have to
Cool.
pick a day out because if I'm going to be off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'd rather them just come then because it's my days off and not have to worry about work the next day. Because even if they have to leave, it doesn't matter to me.
Oh
So
man, I hope it's you got to have them do it like Wednesday night. You guys should go like Wednesday. You should go to the comic shop, and then Wednesday night you should get some pizza and beers and install that TV and live stream that
we're
shit.
gonna be downstairs in my studio that I clearly may not own actually that I have keys to.
You have a studio?
So down there, James would allow me
Is
to
that where the
use the
bed
studio.
is?
Bed is right there.
The
Oh my!
bookshelf?
Oh
Laps
my!
was right. It is the bookshelf. He just chat. You saw him just point to the bookshelf. Somebody clip this. Is WZ in the chat? WZ, are you in the
Oh
chat?
my God!
I
Why are
don't.
you
Okay,
guys?
somebody clip this for later. That way we can see him pointing to where the bed
Why are
is.
you guys watching this propaganda YouTube channel called Posting MSK's W's? That's a propaganda YouTube channel designed to make me
Fantastic
look
channel.
bad.
That's gonna be discovered someday by like Gen Alpha, and it's gonna be peak comedy for them.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be
God!
It's gonna be
I'm
huge.
gonna be a legend one of these days. That's what I'm
Hmm.
telling you guys. That's why we got to keep putting out content because I feel like I'm on the cusp of becoming a legend at a point.
You do
You
like
know.
cusping.
But you know what's something I have to do? I have to fully finish uploading the Iron Man podcast to Spotify, and then I can upload the episodes of this show, and then I have to upload the rest of the episodes for my Cloud9 podcast too. I'm really behind on uploading
So
content.
there's a so you're gonna go to the studio. You're gonna start doing your shows from the studio downstairs.
No. For IRL stuff like that, I would just do it down there. I wouldn't do it in my house. What the hell? It'd be weird.
Well, no, you got to have them on so you can do the stream. So you can do the install stream, like that one
No, I
episode
can't
with
have.
James.
No, we can't have
Yeah,
that.
dude, that episode with James was gold. Gold.
Uh,
WZ needs to like maybe like lightly clip that or edit it together because it's a long stream and bring us the big highlights from each point. But that whole episode needs to live in posterity. It's so good.
oh my God. But yes, they should be. He said the third week, so we're gonna have to pick out a day for that because probably gonna be. It probably should be Thursday. Thursday is probably the best day, even though I have to work the next day because or Tuesday wouldn't be that bad either. Tuesday or Thursday. Wednesday's weird because I would kind of want to go out to the comic book shop if they're here. You know, that movie not that bad, but Iron gets off at 3 o'clock, and it's gonna take it takes about an hour 30 just from getting Vegas to my city. So that'd be like what 4:30, and I'm pretty sure they would not want to drive further than that, even after getting through like the traffic coming from
Yeah,
Vegas. Actually, so yeah, Wednesday wouldn't be that bad, but it just depends on what
there
day
you
we
go.
set up. Maybe we do it on Saturday. He can't do it because it's Rogues Gallery Day. Did he even have an episode of Rogues Gallery this week? I'm not even sure. I don't even remember honestly.
I'm pretty sure they did. I wasn't able to make it for that one, but I'm
Like,
in between what I can make and can't anymore these
yeah.
days.
All right, let's have some fun, guys. Hey
Let's
everyone,
do
I am
that.
a black, hot, rich man. That's not a take. That was just me monologuing. All right. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the animated G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover series in the works. So me and Professor Savage Dad have already did videos talking about, kind of like where the live action Transformers and G.I. Joe film series are going to be heading. Basically, long story short, if you didn't get a chance to watch those episodes of the MSK show, or you just watched the, clipped video portions that I uploaded on the channel, essentially, long story short, the Transformers film series ended up basically just devaluing at the box office. Like numbers went all the way up, then it started crashing down. The G.I. Joe film series kind of never really peaked as hard as the Transformers film series did in terms of box office, relevance actually. And the last movie, Snake Eyes G.I. Joe, whatever the fuck it was called, was complete, utter horseshit, worthless trash. Like it was literally fucking terrible. Like I'd argue that G.I. Joe's Snake Eyes movie was pure just. Oh, that might have been one of the worst movies I ever saw. Oh God, it was awful. But we also got the announcement that a G.I. Joe and Transformers live action crossover was going to happen because at the end of Rise of the Beast, there was this end credit scene where Tony Ramos's character was brought in and the guy revealed his calling card and it had the Joe, it had the G.I. Joe, like, sign on it, the whole calling card and shit like that. But what's crazy is we've actually never got any further announcements on that G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover movie. All we know is that like
Yeah.
maybe Lorenzo D. Bonaventura was going to be a producer on it. Like literally, there's been no announcements on that at all. It's just been complete silence. But what is doing well for Transformers and GI Joe is actually in the comic book world, actually, and it started pretty much in, I would say, October 2023 when Transformers #1 came out. It was a relaunch of the Transformers comic book series done by Image Comics and Skybound in a collaboration effort led by Robert Kirkman, the guy that created The Walking Dead and Invincible, two of the most highly influential modern comic book, series, since then. Walking Dead TV series, Invincible TV series, both those shows have a lot of fans now, and even propelled the fans to actually of the TV series go actually read the comic books actually, and he's leading the Skybound Transformers GI Joe initiative, and Transformers #1 sold so well. It did very, 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 very good, and I get it. Daniel Warren Johnson has lost his mind politically now, but giving credit to him because I can separate the art from the artist, even though I don't like the guy that much. He did a very good Transformers run. Like, arguably, I think personally, that Transformers Volume 1, Robots in Disguise, probably was some of the best comics I ever read in my entire life. I think by far and away, it was so good. Even Transformers
Yeah.
Volume 2, which was, I think, was called like Combiner Chaos, something like that, was very, very good. I have to read the other two Transformers trades, but I really did like the Daniel Warren Johnson run for at least the first 12 issues that I read. They were so damn good.
Yeah.
And then
The art it's not everybody's cup of tea. Like, I didn't hate it. But I think, like, it worked because the story was actually really good. I can't complain. The story was good. He pulled off an engaging story. I do feel, having seen where, like, Kirkman is going with it, I do wonder how closely I do wonder if Kirkman's vision for the book is kind of was the guiding principle of what Daniel Warren Johnson was taking on. I can't necessarily
probably
take that
was.
away from him. He read it, but I would imagine, Kirkman picked this up and he had a very clear idea of where he wanted to go, because
Yeah.
I mean, Kirkman's in charge of it now, and this did so well for Kirkman. Kirkman said, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
in.
Because,
I'm gonna bring in the heaviest hitter in the comic book
yeah.
game, at least the heaviest current hitter in the comic book game. Now there's some other guys. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's doing Green Lantern right now, and he did Soul
Oh, Jeremy
Striker.
Adams.
No, not Jeremy Adams, the artist on Green Lantern. He did Soul Striker, which was an indie comic. Gorgeous art, some of the best art I've seen. He
Mm-hmm.
might be the only other person. It's funny, DC has both of these guys, but he might be the only other person I've seen currently in comics. And he came from the indie scene. Like, I don't, so I don't know that. Who knows? Maybe he could be nutty like Daniel Warren Johnson, but, like, he came from an indie scene and advertised, not necessarily CG adjacent, but, like, there were CG people that showed his book off. Like, I don't know if you ever worked with them or they just saw it and liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was through those venues that I ended up seeing the book in the first place. I wish I could get Vaughn actually knows that guy.
Right.
Vaughn seems to know a ton of people, but beautiful art in that book, fantastic. And him and Dan Moore must be, at least of the
Yeah.
current crop of guys, the two best artists out there. And he
Because
brings
if
Dan
you
Dan
forget,
Moore in to do Transformers, and it's like,
so hold that up,
dude, that's
because
good.
oh no, keep that book there for a second, because so right there, as you guys don't know, Daniel Warren Johnson was actually doing the art and the writing on that. Then later on, Mike Spencer came on to the book actually
Yeah,
to help him out with art. So then around that time period, we had GI Joe 5-issue miniseries launch. We had Cobra, we had Duke, and then we had Scarlet, and then we had Destro, and then later on we got the GI Joe relaunch at Image Comics, which is weird because they already have a GI Joe ongoing series already. It's at like issue 300 and I
it's
think
still
30 at
going.
this point.
I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
based on the original Marvel stuff.
yeah,
And is Larry Hama still writing it?
yeah. He is. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a
So
big
it's not the
fan base
same
for
as
that.
Larry Hama's series. It's just basically this
Yeah,
is a new GI Joe
this is
relaunch
the
essentially.
Energon Universe take on GI Joe.
Yeah,
And I read the first trade and I read the Duke stuff. It was really good. Destro wasn't bad. Cobra Commander was not bad either. I didn't read the Scarlet thing. I didn't really care. I don't like the writer. And as far as I can tell, I didn't miss anything. When
yeah,
the GI Joe series started, when I read the first trade for the GI Joe series, made absolutely no difference.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
miss anything.
yeah.
So
Because what's crazy is Joshua Williamson wrote Cobra, and he's the writer for the GI Joe Energon Universe series, right? So
yeah,
also, we have Void Rivals in that too. So, like this Energon universe, which started with Transformers and then went to Cobra and Duke, and you had Scarlet and Destro and GI Joe and Void Rivals, is doing very well. I mean, we're at a point now where this Energon universe is competing with like Marvel and DC. I mean, for an actual period of time there, these books were like top 10 best-selling collected editions,
yeah.
single issues. I think Void Rivals kind of tailored off toward the very end,
Yeah,
but
Void Rivals is the one that's like people aren't. It's the
it's
original
like
thing,
yeah, it's
but
like the what's that? The bastard stepchild of them
yeah,
all.
it's
Yeah.
setting a lot of groundwork though in the outer space stuff that you're going to see. Like there will be eventually a coming together of all three of these books at some point. Because Void Rivals stands as its own thing, which is nice. If you just want kind of a space sci-fi fantasy adventure, it's doing that great. But it's taking aspects of like Transformers with a lot of the inner John and Cybertronian influences, like past influences and character influences, and some of the aliens you saw from like later parts of the series of the Transformers series
Mhm.
animated series. I think there's even some people from GI Joe that have rolled through that are vaguely referenced or showed up in here. So there's definitely a lot of that getting tied in, and eventually they'll all come to get crashing together in some sort of
Mhm.
crossover when he gets to a story point. And but it's yeah, Void Rivals is pretty good, and I think that now that he's writing both of them, he may tie them both together a little bit more. But
Especially with Dan Mora, like my Mike Spencer and Daniel Warren Johnson's art was fine, it was good, but
yeah, it's fine.
Dan
Yeah,
Mora
it's
is
not.
just obviously on a
Yeah,
different level,
yeah.
obviously.
Dan Moore is very much a different level, and seeing Kirkman bring him in, obviously he's probably getting paid. I would think relatively decent. But bringing him in, yeah, dude, you're gonna see some great poster work. You're gonna
Dude,
see
you know
some great
why?
covers.
You know why I think Dan Moore is getting paid way more with Image and Skybound is because he announced that he's not going to be doing that as many ongoing comic
He's
book
doing like
series. Yeah, he was.
seven,
He
bro.
was. And then he announced that he's gonna only be doing like a few series as ongoing. So he'll still be doing like commissions and cover art and
Yeah,
all that stuff. But that goes to show you just how overworked Dan Mora was. And Dan Mora's art is just absolutely just comp-
he's
if we
the
did a
peak of the
tier list,
current generation for
if
sure.
we did a
There
tier
isn't
list,
anybody close.
if we did a tier list, he'd be S plus tier. That's how
Oh
good
yeah,
he
well
is.
he's the biggest name in comics art right now of this generation of people.
Right,
And he
right.
does work. He does continue. He's continuing to do work, and like, he's probably drawn more issues of Superman than or was he working on Superman? I
Yeah,
think he
yeah.
worked.
He was on
Yeah,
Superman,
he was in
World's
Superman.
Finest,
Yeah, he's
Shazam.
probably
He was on a
done more
bunch of
Superman
stuff.
work than Ethan Van Sciver did Green Lantern
Okay.
work.
Woo! God, always got
Yeah,
to get those jabs in. Oh my God.
yeah. This is exciting. I wonder what network this is going to drop on. Are they going to do it online? Like, where are they putting this out? That's it's interesting.
Yeah. A
Is it going to be
Transformers?
an animated? Oh, it's going to be Paramount. Yeah, that makes sense. Duh. Is it going to be a movie?
No, this
Or
is gonna be a TV
a
series.
TV series? Oh, that's honestly, that's just it's really smart. If they can pull it off.
Yeah.
I actually trust Paramount somewhat lately. Like if this was going to drop on Netflix, like the last Transformers series, I think it would be doomed. But
Oh yeah. I'm convinced Denver.
I,
Dude, dude probably has a
Lunchbox,
clone.
you're probably not. Yeah, there's just three of them or some shit. Who knows?
A
He's,
Transformers and GI Joe crossover is finally happening, but not how fans expected. Yeah, because remember they announced a Transformers GI Joe crossover live action wise. This is not that. This has nothing to do with that. And keep on, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That live action one's not happening at all because both Transformers and GI Joe live action. Well, GI Joe was never anything live action wise. That always had massive problems. But
yeah,
Transformers has massively declined box office wise with the last few movies. So that's just not happening anymore. Transformers and G.I. Joe are finally set to cross over, though not in the way it was originally planned. 2023's Transformers Rise of the Beast ended with the reveal of G.I. Joe, setting up an epic crossover between the two iconic 80s properties in live action, while Paramount Pictures has struggled to get a live action Transformers G.I. Joe crossover off the ground. For the past 2 years, an animated version is on the horizon based on some of the most critically acclaimed stories in either franchise history. And come
Very
on, guys,
true.
I haven't had a chance to read Cobra or Duke or Void. I have all that stuff. I literally have it over there. I've heard nothing but good things about this
MSK
stuff.
doesn't do reviews though, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Comic book reviews are literally for nerds, and if you read comic books, you actually don't shower. Honestly,
Did you
But
take a shower this morning?
yeah, I kind of did. I think. Let's run it black. Deadline reports that Robert Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment and Hasbro Entertainment are teaming up for an animated series titled Energon Universe, based on the Energon Universe publishing initiative that launched in June 2023, which unites the Transformers, G.I. Joe, and the original title Void Rivals under one publishing initiative aimed at a more teenage and adult audience. Lucifer's Joe Henderson is set to write the series and will be taken out to buyers shortly. They made it sound like he was getting taken out back like old Yeller style. Oh, God. Despite being an animated series, Energon Universe will not be aimed at children like past Transformers and G.I. Joe cartoons, but instead more adult skewing, similar to Kirkman's own Invincible adaptation. I think that's the right approach, honestly, because Invincible is definitely not aimed at kids.
Yeah, it's definitely not for kids. It's a little more in the teenager realm. I mean, as long as they keep it if they aim PG-13, it's probably not too bad. But I think calling it Energon Universe is not the best idea because people aren't going to know what the fuck it is. And what does he mean they're selling it? If Paramount's working on this,
No.
who are they
They're probably shopping it to
just
potential buyers. Shopping it to potential buyers who will buy the series put on the streaming service, I would imagine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not just put it on Paramount Plus?
But that's the thing is, sell it to someone else who will pay you top dollar. I mean, didn't DC did that with Batman? That Batman animated
Dude,
series?
no, they've been doing that with Scooby Doo, with Looney Tunes. DC started when DC started selling everything like IPs back to people. I knew that it was that Warner Brothers was short lived. I wonder what happens with them in Paramount in the first place. Maybe it ends up there. Maybe it ends up at Netflix. I don't know, but I don't know the name Energon Universe. I mean,
I see what you're saying.
We know what that is.
It doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't have that brand appeal yet.
You just don't know that it's Transformers. You don't know that it's G.I. Joe. They're going to have to do a good ad campaign for it. They're going to really have to actually market it so people know what they're looking at. Otherwise, people don't know what that is. I see Energon Universe while I'm scrolling through Paramount Plus. Maybe I know, but for the unintroduced, they may not know.
Energon Universe has reimagined Transformers and G.I. Joe better than the films. I'd agree.
It's definitely the best reimagination of it in maybe ever. Like Cybertron, people like, or Energon, people like the Energon, the anime Energon, people like that.
Well, if they're talking about films, I don't know if any of the Michael Bay films really ever envision what Transformers really is. Like,
I don't.
It has that thing that kids keep talking about. Like kids keep talking about. There needs to be like these cool aura farming moments and these highlight clips. Literally, that is all of Michael Bay's Transformers movies. It's all aura farming highlight clips. The stories are bad. They're shitty. Even that first one, it's overly.
The characters, the human
characters are unlikable. Like even the first one, which is the one I know people like. Even that one, I've rewatched it. It is long. It's overly long, and it's really tedious. The characters are awful, dislikable.
Megan Fox was just hot. That was
Megan Fox is just hot. She doesn't have a character. It's like there's like literally, if they didn't have Optimus and Megatron in that movie, that'd just be a shitty fucking film. Like I also think the voice actor for Optimus Prime carries those movies in a lot of these fucking times because. I don't really think Shia LaBeouf acts that good at all in these, honestly. Energon Universe is a publishing initiative overseen by Robert Kirkman, best known as the creator of The Walking Dead and Invincible, that reimagines the mythology of the Transformers and G.I. Joe, tying the two franchises' histories together. In this universe, the Joes were formed in response to the Transformers' arrival on Earth and Cobra's weapons harnessing Energon, the life essence of the Transformers. The series has even brought in Hasbro's others.
I have to see that. I can't believe that they brought Mask in.
Yeah,
that's fucking wild, dude. I remember Mask. I love those toys. Now I do. I have to. I'm actually kind of excited about it. I haven't been buying stuff like comics and things, so I don't know where the current thing is going with Kirkman. But I might have to go find some back issues or something to. That's fucking cool, Mask.
The series
That's
has
wild.
even brought in Hasbro's other 1980s toy property, Mask. Paramount spent years trying and failing to build a shared universe for Hasbro's properties, but Skybound Entertainment has seemingly done so with ease. But the thing with Hasbro is Hasbro was always gonna end up, I'm gonna say fail, but they were gonna have their sales halt because toy sales for a lot of their properties that they were getting the license to sell the toys through, if the property aren't good, movies and TVs wise, Hasbro suffers indirectly because they have the
Nobody buys his
toys.
voice. Yep.
Nobody buys the toys. So if like the movies and television for anything you're selling isn't good and it's perceived as bad, the toys don't sell, right? That's the problem that Hasbro's run
Yep.
into. They have the Star Wars license. That shit doesn't sell. Like, I'm sorry. And they made a lot of big deals for that, and those will end up like falling through. But I know their Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff, they'll like do retro versions of all their classics. I know those still sell very well, but like,
Oh yeah, well they tons of the sales. You got the classified stuff that's always moving because they're well. That's the thing. They're really good toys. They're really well made.
they
They're
look very
they're
well made. Yeah.
they're dead on. They're some of the best
They're the
quality.
ones that do the Hot Toys, right? Or no?
No, they're not Hot
They're
Toys.
not Hot Toys. Yeah, yeah.
They're some of the best quality stuff that Hasbro's ever like put out though. I mean, this is like the big time Optimus Prime that they
Oh, that looks
made.
good. I like that. That
Yeah,
looks cool.
oh yeah, he's dead on. He's good. The plastic is solid. The transformation is really good. He looks dead on from the '86, like the Studio Series stuff is what that one is. And but yeah, it's like the third party stuff you pay way too much money for, but the third party shit, like it's gorgeous, so well designed. Hasbro got better. Hasbro used to suck. I remember when they first started doing Marvel's action figures, they were dog shit compared to Toy Biz. It's literally taken Hasbro all of this time. That's what's kind of messed up in the toy world. Like Toy Biz was so fucking good. Like Marvel partially owned Toy Biz, but I think Toy Biz dissolved when Disney bought Marvel. Toy Biz was so fucking good. Like, let me see. I have a Toy Biz down here. This is the Toy Biz Sentinel. One of the better things. One of the cooler looks from the new X-Men. Actually, this is Hasbro is only just getting to this point of toy quality. Toy Biz was already there. They knew how to make great collectibles. Toy Biz and Todd McFarlane made great toys. Hasbro made cheap stuff.
Oh, Todd
Hasbro has
McFarlane.
now made it here.
Todd McFarlane. He does the Page Puncher line still. And I know he does another line for them as well. So the initiative began with an original title, Void Rivals, with Transformers debuting in October 2023. G.I. Joe was built up in a manner similar to the Avengers, with miniseries centered on characters like Duke, Cobra Commander, Destro, and Scarlet, before culminating in G.I. Joe #1, which hit comic shelves in November 2024. Ever since the Energon universe launched, it has been a hit with fans and critics alike. But I will say this. It did start with Void Rivals, but Transformers #1 that was Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah, that's what took it home.
That's what really took it off, though. And then Duke was just like, and then the other ones, I don't.
WZ.
Oh God, goodness gracious! As Deadline notes, becoming one of Hasbro's best-selling comic book lines with over 7 million units sold worldwide, Transformers won Best Continuing Series and Best Writer/Artist for Daniel Warren Johnson at the 2024 Eisner Awards, essentially the Academy Awards for comic books. And like you might guys
oversell, but yeah.
they gotta find a way to stroke these comic book guys' egos somehow, because I truly fucking don't like award shows. I think they're so freaking gay, honestly.
Yeah.
Energon Universe has created some of the best storytelling either G.I. Joe or Transformers has ever seen. We here at MovieWeb even mentioned how the G.I. Joe comics were a perfect blueprint for Paramount Pictures to relaunch the struggling film franchise. I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still not too late for the planned live-action Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover film to also draw on the Energon Universe material in their planned crossover. It's too late. It's just, you would essentially have to do another Transformers movie and basically just call that other one not canon, because that would just be fucking weird, you know?
I think that, I mean, if you wanted to do it, they're not wrong. You do a blueprint of the G.I. Joe books, and you bring in, and you start off with a Duke movie, not a G.I. Joe movie, and you bring in somebody like Channing Tatum, a little bit older now. Duke is a little, you bring in maybe a Channing Tatum or a Chris Pratt or somebody. You bring them in as Duke, and you build off that. You end on a cliffhanger where it's going to roll
Mhm.
into a Cobra. It's going to roll into a Cobra Commander movie. You're going to get a villain movie. Be really interesting and engaging. Obviously, you're going to have protagonists and antagonists in it and shit. But then you do the Cobra movie. You have Destro kind of. You weave together the Destro and the Cobra movie maybe because they're
Mhm.
so intertwined with one another. And then yeah, after that you get a GI Joe movie. You say here we go, boom.
Right?
That's it. And
Until
it's
then,
it's two movies and then payoff too. And they could do it if they followed what was done in the comics. Two movies and then you get that payoff. You don't need the Scarlet thing. You don't need the
now,
Destro by itself.
honestly, the Scarlet and Death, I haven't read it yet, but that kind of stuff, you could do it, which is the only thing the MCU did good with their shows. Do you know how, like, for Werewolf by Night was just like an hour special? Just do like an hour special for that, for those kind of things. You don't need
Yeah.
like a whole TV show
Yeah,
based around those
that's what I'm
guys.
saying. Like, and you could do it. You do like an hour 45 Duke movie. It's a straight up action movie, but you're gonna get peppered with some Joe cameos in there. And at the end, he's like, "Hey, we've got this bad guy coming." With Flint or whoever, Colonel Hawk, whoever he ends up with. And then you boom, the next movie, you do the it's just Cobra, and you've got Destro and Cobra Commander's kind of origin and how they get together
Yeah.
in the movie, and you see some background. They're taking on other things, but it's mostly a villain movie. And then you do the GI Joe movie right after that, and it would be huge if you followed what they did in those books. They have a blueprint there that they would nail. They'd get two movies that would probably
Mhm.
both could be don't have to be expensive movies, and they could potentially both make $1 billion. They can do very well. People are going to go to see those movies, and if you follow these blueprints, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
And then you do a GI Joe movie and you make 2 billion bucks because it comes out.
I'm
You've
I'm not
working on
even
the
one of
back
those
of two films
guys.
would be into.
Like, I'm not even one of those guys that say you should throw things direct to streaming, but right now it would be the best idea to throw this stuff on streaming because Paramount's box office reputation is so beyond just taintedly bad. I think you do an approach like what they did with the Predator franchise that Disney did with Hulu, even though Predator Badlands didn't do that well. Because remember, guys, it went that route because of how bad the fourth Predator movie was. I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna launch this, it's gonna just have to be streaming first. It has to be.
Well, I'm saying the anime. I mean, in all honesty, if the animated series comes out and it's good and it gets word of mouth and people are into it, I think they could make them. I think they could make them in the cinema. I think they could get people there. If you say the creative team from
Yeah.
the animated series, if
If you
they
say
make it
creator
good.
of The Walking Dead, you're already gonna get people there. Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
how it's gonna
exactly. From
happen.
the
Yeah.
creator of The Walking Dead and et cetera, et cetera. And then yeah, you're gonna get that attention. You're gonna get the pull in the box office, and people are gonna show up for it. But yeah, they got to do this animated series first and make and actually show that they can make something good.
Yep. Until then, the animated series has become the most anticipated entry in the Transformers and GI Joe's future. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited. I mean, I've read the
I'm
first
down
12
for it.
issues of the Transformers, comic book run in the Energon universe by Daniel Warren Johnson. It was very good. I mean, like volume. I liked volume 2. Don't get me wrong. I think it was very good. Volume 1 was ah, just comic gasms right there. But volume 2 was very very good too. So like right there, if you could make that as good as it was in the comic books, you're gonna have people
Oh
just
yeah.
hooked for life at that point. I would argue if you did the volume 1 correctly, people are gonna say, but you can't match it comic book 1 to 1. Match it 1 to 1. This is the ones where you would do it. It's that good.
I
It's
mean, yeah, it
literally
does.
that good.
It is very good. You don't have to match it like one for like panel for panel, but if you just follow the arc of volume one, done. But that and well, this is the thing though. This is the issue they're going to have is because if they are making this the reason it won't follow along is if they're going to try to blend all three of them in one show, they're not going to be able to follow just the Transformers arc. They're going to have to bring in the Void Rivals. They're going to have to bring in the Joes a little earlier. They're going to have to mix it all up together somehow. So I'd be if Kirkman is going to be over it though and working on it, I would imagine he has some sort of vision of how that could work. But then you're just I mean, he's literally not necessarily using his stuff as a blueprint. I mean, as a blueprint, but a very loose blueprint because he's going to have to go back and reinvent it where all three of these are hitting the mat at the same time and not this slow burn of 2 years worth of 3 years worth of books that are building to something where they're definitely going to come together. You can tell that after Void, getting through. GI Joe 1, you can tell that Void Rivals and this are all going to touch. I mean, by the time you get to Void Rivals 3, you've already seen cameos from the other two universes. I haven't seen. I want to dig back through now and see where if the Masked universe showed up in any of this stuff here. Because in all honesty, I always thought Mask was like GI Joe with Transformer abilities. Like that's what it was. It was like transforming vehicles, but they just turned into other vehicles. So I
So
kind of have a feeling that's what it is in here, but I want to see it. I want to see,
yeah, because
that's pretty cool.
it really just depends on the approach of it, because it depends on how they're gonna lay out this series. I know they have their writer, or sorry, showrunner, right? But I would say
Yeah, Lucifer wasn't bad. I mean, I have no
I know people that
particular
like
issue
it.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a bit of a more of a. It
teeny
was kind
bopper
of for
drama
a
show.
little bit. It was for the ladies. My wife liked it, but
Oh
I
God,
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the show. Like
you
it
only
was
watched it to
decent.
get laid. Obviously, that's what you meant.
Yeah, the guy they had playing Lucifer was an interesting character. And I think I definitely, to a fault of the Sandman series they did on Netflix, they should have had that guy cast as Lucifer. Because the Lucifer on that series is based on the DC Comics Lucifer from Vertigo, from Sandman. And then they did some weird stuff with Lucifer as opposed to just casting this guy that everybody already liked as Lucifer. Everybody already enjoyed the actor as Lucifer. He did a good job of it. It would have been interesting to see him
Right.
like work that role there, but you
So it
know,
just depends on who's
nobody
the
likes fan
overseer.
service.
If Robert Kirkman is the overseer
I
of
would
it, or
imagine this is
I imagine he is.
Skybound is, yeah, Skybound is Kirkman's thing,
Yeah,
and Transformers is making Skybound and Kirkman money right now.
yeah.
Like in all honesty, if he manages to get a toy deal worked out with some of the characters from the series,
Oh yeah,
Kirkman will be quite. In all honesty, if he isn't like chomping at the bit with Hasbro to get some fucking toys made from. They have made toys from the series. They were Comic Con exclusives of the Jetfire that included some of the Void Rivals characters.
yeah.
That was kind of the first go round of it. But if they get this series out, there's going to be toys that have to follow with it. You're
Hmm.
going to get Void Rivals toys, and the Void Rivals characters are at least the characters from and the races of aliens from the series. Those are in part mostly his, so he's definitely going to get cut in on this, and he is the creative, mind behind them. So, and I don't know if I think he invented a new Transformer. I can't remember now. I think he's at least got one new Transformer character to his name. But I have to look again. But either way,
Yeah.
like that's what like he needs this series to drop because then he gets to cut in on toys. And I guarantee you, like most of the characters in the Skybound version are pretty freaking G1 accurate. So, and those sell.
Yeah.
Mild retakes on G1 figures are going to move units, and
Hmm.
yeah. So I would imagine it won't be he'll be doing his best to make this successful
So yeah, as you guys know, for me, I'm hyped for this. I don't know when it's gonna come out. It'll probably come out early
next year.
2028. I'm thinking
Yeah,
like, yeah, late 2027, early 2028. Because this is one of those things where I'm not one of those guys where where people always bring up like just kind of rush it out and do it. This is one of the things that you kind of do need to take a little bit of effort and time, because like the marketing is gonna have to be pretty key, because if they're calling it just the Energon universe, that's gonna need to be marketed effectively to show you that it's Transformers, which is the biggest draw of it. And I would say if you're gonna do a Transformers animated series based off the first volume of Daniel Warren Johnson's run, the writer pretty much, you gotta have read those books, because if you're gonna get called out so hard if you didn't, right? So I
yep.
would say take your time with it, and I think Paramount's gonna have a big hit on their hands if this actually pans out the way that we think it's going to pan out. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel. If you've not already, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, AK Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. So we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything you got planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Nothing really, man. I'm in between on the streams. I'm making when I can. I needed a little bit of a break from the monotony of my general day, filling out paperwork. So, you know, here we go. Yeah, but I might show up on Rogues Gallery this weekend. I don't know. Not sure what the plan is. Other than that, sometimes I might, if I'm up late on a Friday night, I might be over on Devil Made Me Do It's channel, Beelzebub. Friday late nights. You can find me there occasionally. I don't know, man. Just find me in between the streams. I'm all over the place and nowhere all at the same time.
Yeah. Just like my dad, you're all over the place and not with the kids. God damn it.
He'll come back. It was just cigarettes, bro.
Oh my god. All right, so for me, as you guys know, I have to do my stream schedule for the rest of this week and starting next week. So whenever you see the streams as upcoming live streams, that's pretty much me kind of filling out and updating when you guys are gonna see me next. Potentially later on today, I'll probably just stream League, or you get Master Duel again.
Put it
Tomorrow,
on Rumble, man. Put it on Rumble. I'm telling you.
I
Try
upload
it.
the VODs
Try.
there. I upload the
No,
VODs
dude,
there.
dude, do it live on Rumble. Try doing League live on Rumble. They have a like one of their subcategories
Yeah,
is
it is.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never really. I mean, it
do it
never
live and see
really
what
panned
happens.
out. It never. I had like one viewer. That wasn't me. I don't watch that shit.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, try doing your League streams for a month on Rumble, including Rumble. Just add it to the list of check boxes or the shit you're doing in there.
Yeah.
And try it and see. I'm telling you, you might get some traction. Rumble's pushing gaming behind the scenes. They're not, but yeah, it didn't have, like you said earlier, it did not have the impact that we expected it to from Dr. Disrespect. I don't know. Like I see some of Dr. Disrespect. It just isn't the same anymore, man. Like they rescued the guy from himself a little bit, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, we'll
Not
see
Nick
how.
Rekieta, but man, what a way to shoot yourself in the foot.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! Oh my goodness, I hate life.
It ain't your life, dude. You're not pulling a Rekieta or a Dr. Disrespect. Both of them unforced L's.
The L's that they've
That's why
taken.
you all gotta check out posting MSK's W's over on YouTube all the time. Be there.
Check out that propaganda YouTube channel. But yes, I just have to fill up my stream schedule for the end of this week and coming up next week too. So you guys will see who I have coming on the channel. Me and Lunchbox Warren should be back to doing comic book reviews on Wednesday around 8 p.m. PST, because all my obligations for Wednesday are pretty much over now at this point. So we should be getting back to doing that. I'm pretty sure we are 99% sure, because I have no other obligations Wednesday.
When's the next show with Lapsed? I'm totally gonna come in the chat.
Oh God, at some point we gotta have a show with Lapsed again. At some point, you know.
Let's go.
Oh my God. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day, everybody.